G'day, welcome to Endurance Room. Hope you've all been doing well. Sorry, I know it's been a minute. We've been super busy here with our homestead. Winter is slowly settling in. It's kind of been up and down. It's supposed to be 50 degrees on Sunday, but snow the day after. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I'm gonna go out and do an overnighter here pretty soon. I'm hoping for snow, so I think I'm gonna hold off until we get some good cover. But anyway, I wanted to jump on here today and just kind of rap with you guys about what I've been doing to, take care of myself with all the crazy stuff that's been going on, and just life stress. This has been really good for me. I'm doing something for my mind, my body, my spirit, pretty much every day. For my body, I've been doing almost daily kettlebell workouts. Cleans, presses, swings, get-ups, squats. I've been focusing on a program called Simple and Sinister by Pavel Sasulin the past month or so. I ran it, years ago, and I've just kind of came back to it recently to kind of recalibrate and reset, and it's been really, really good. That program, it's a great, foundation builder with the kettlebell, and it's something you can do at home, in your house. You can do it outside, in a park. And the great thing about kettlebells, it's literally a gym with a handle on it. So very minimal equipment, just a couple exercises. You get a full body workout. It's both strength and conditioning. And, for somebody that's in their 40s, I can tell you from firsthand experience, the kettlebell has been very, very good to me as far as, regaining athleticism, just shaving off the years, It's been awesome. I started out maybe 14 years ago with a 25-pound kettlebell, and I had hurt my back, and I was in a car accident. I got hit by a drunk driver, and it locked up a nerve in my neck and made my left arm numb for like a year. And like during that year, I really let myself go and just kind of, resign myself to this awful reality. And finally I was like, no, what are you doing? And, I just started putting in the work with a 25-pound kettlebell, and just whatever I could do, and then some basic body weight exercises, and just started getting myself back in order. And that really set me on a path. I ended up becoming a strength coach, a fitness instructor. I help people do body transformations. I was an Amazing 12 coach. I was a Strong First instructor. I got to train with Pavel Wadudo and Paul Gray from Norway and the UK, respectively, in the art of functional movement. Got to work with some really cool people. Dave Whitley, Dennis Rogers from Old Time Strongman University. Got into steel bending, bending spikes and steel bars and horseshoes. And, just a few years before all that, I couldn't really use my arm. And it's not to say like, what I could do or anything like that. It's just, I put my mind to it and decided that I wanted to, get my life back. And it all started with a kettlebell. And lately, I've really been digging into my kettlebell workouts once again. I kind of took some time off, and my body didn't like that very much. So starting back in January, I picked up a light kettlebell, and I've just been making steady progress throughout the months. I started with a 16K again, just doing, some light workouts. And then, probably 2 months ago, I was working out with a pair of 32 kilogram kettlebells, which are 70 pounds a pop. And, it's pretty awesome. It feels great to get under a heavy weight, a heavy load, and, just really enjoy what your body is capable of, because strength, as Paul McElroy is fond of saying, strength isn't built, it's granted. Like, you already have the strength and the power in your body. The stories of mothers lifting cars off their children, all those urban tales, there's reality in that. There's real people have done crazy feats of strength that they should not have been capable of, because their nervous system, in times of extreme circumstances, allowed them access to the strength that was already within themselves. So really cool. Really cool. Everybody's capable of far more than they give themselves credit for. And when you start working on that and talking with your nervous system and just getting more and more efficient, you start to be able to do some pretty cool stuff. So lately, what have I been doing? I've been doing Simple and Sinister, which is a kettlebell program from Strong First. It is their program minimum. Their CEO, Pavel Satsulin, wrote a book on it about 10, maybe 12 years ago. Then they did a second edition a couple years ago. But it's basically 100 swings and 10 get-ups, done almost daily. You do a brief warm-up with some squats, some halos where you're taking the weight around your head, warming your shoulders up, and then some hip bridges where you're laying on the ground. You pull your heels in towards your hips and drive your pelvis up off the floor, and it helps activate the muscles on your back, your posterior chain, which are the muscles you'll be swinging with. And then you go and do 10 sets of 10 swings, starting out with two-hand. As you get stronger and more conditioned, your grip strength improves. You switch to one-arm swings, and they have a more of a muscular hypertrophy type effect. And then you do 10 get-ups, 5 with each arm, just alternating. And you take your time with the workout. You just focus on speed and power with the swings, and then with the get-ups, you focus on just being really smooth, technical proficiency. The swing is a power-driven movement. Think of, sprinting or jumping, but it's something that people with, high mileage, history of injuries, they're able to do. And because the loading is done ballistically, it's done fast, you're able to put a lot of strain on the body for a very brief interval that has a very similar effect to a heavy weight without all of the compression and damage that you would receive from, like heavy barbell training. So if you got a history of use and abuse, kettlebells might be the ticket to, get you back in the game. It was for me. I've had an interesting life. I've taken some bumps and some knocks and, car crashes, four-wheeler crashes, martial arts, just growing up on a farm, manual labor, most of my life. And kettlebells have been really good. And I know they could be really good for you too. So it doesn't take a lot to get into them. There's just a few basic movements and you can get up and running and not a lot of time. You learn how to pick it up safely with a deadlift. Then you learn how to squat it with the goblet squat. And that's really great for just stretching your hips out and getting your ankles stretched out, your knees, and, you know, opening up your hips. And it's a very strengthening movement. You can load it up pretty heavy after you get going with it, and, you know, build some muscle with it. You can build a lot of muscle with it. And then after you learn how to goblet squat and deadlift, then you learn how to swing. And the swing is basically like the foundational movement that unlocks the rest of kettlebelling. You learn how to swing and you're off and running. So the swing is what's known as a ballistic. It's a fast, snappy, power-driven movement. Then there is the clean, where you're bringing up one arm and loading the bell for overhead work, for, you know, presses, for push presses, for jerks. You got the snatch, where you're swinging it with one arm and locking it out up overhead. There's a bunch of different stuff you can do, but the swing is the gateway to all of that. So you learn how to deadlift, you learn how to squat, and then you learn how to swing, and you're off and running. Then you're gonna learn how to clean, how to press, and how to get up. And you've got an awesome selection of movements to train your body. Your whole body, your strength and conditioning needs will readily be taken care of, especially if you put in the time and, you know, develop yourself a strength practice. It's not a workout. It's a training. It's a practice. That's how I look at it anyways. I'm not chasing the burn. I'm not chasing, you know, the pump or anything like that you see in the gym with the boys doing their 3 sets of 10 to failure, which never works out for anybody. And, you know, having worked in the gym, seeing guys that train like that, you know, year after year, they were using the same weights or less over time. They weren't progressing. They were either, you know, staying stagnant or depreciating. And you should be making progress like the whole time. That's how I approach it, and that's where I find, you know, a lot of joy, you know, just getting better, getting stronger, and unlocking that hidden potential within us all. So, a bit of a deep dive here. So I do my kettlebell workouts in the mornings. I take a half hour, you know, sometimes an hour, depending on what I'm working on, and then I will do some deep breathing exercises, some Wim Hof breathing, where I'll do, you know, 30 deep breaths, blow everything out, and do a breath hold with no air in my chest. And I'll time it with my stopwatch on my phone here. And then, you know, when I have to take a breath, I'll inhale for about 10 seconds, big deep breath, recalibrate my lungs, and then I'll start those 30 deep breaths over again. I'll do 3 or 4 rounds of that. And each time you do the breath hold, it gets longer and longer. You get more relaxed. It helps bring your heart rate down. My resting heart rate is going down. My heart rate as I'm exercising is going down. My workouts are getting easier. You know, my body is just getting more efficient processing oxygen. It's really, really cool. And then I'll do one more round of deep breathing after I do the breath holds, and I'll do push-ups. Just, you know, you do the deep breathing, blow everything out, and then you do as many push-ups as you can, you know, as, you know, relaxed and, you know, technically proficient as you can be. And it's really interesting. When I first started, I was doing 30. You know, today I hit 50, and it's like not even trying. I'm just getting more efficient at it, and I can tell that my body is getting more and more adapted to it. I notice a difference in my workouts, in my day-to-day. It's awesome. And then to top it off, after the kettlebell workout and the deep breathing practice, I'll go and get a hot shower followed by a cold shower. And We have very, very cold water here in the Adirondacks. We've got a well, comes out of the ground, and it is ice. So I'll get my regular hot shower, and then I'll turn the water full cold, and I'll let it hit me in the back of the head, just kind of blow the air out and kind of relax into the coldness. It'll take your breath away if you let it, but you just relax into it. And what it does is, you know, all the blood that was driven out to your muscles during the hot shower, your blood vessels, capillaries, and everything kind of opened up and dilated, and it brought all this blood out to the surface. And when you go full cold, it drives all of that stuff to your inner organs to maintain your core body temperature. And it's like washing yourself out from the inside out. Really, really interesting, with a whole host of health benefits. If you're interested in this, I definitely recommend checking it out. I know it probably sounds like a bit of a stretch for a lot of you, but I'm telling you, there is something to it. You know, there's people with all sorts of health issues that have gotten into this practice and have made tremendous, tremendous progress and had really positive results. I remember hearing about one lady with MS. She was a concert violinist, a mother of like 3 children, and basically was crippled with MS, wasn't able to play anymore. And she got into the deep breathing and the cold showers, cold baths, and was able to regain her old life back and pick up her instrument again and start playing. So really, really cool. There's a ton of different stories. Just check out Wim Hof. You'll find a ton of stuff. And then last but not least, I end my day with some meditation right before bed. I'll turn the lights out, and if I've got energy, I'll do some meditation. If I'm tired, I'll just lay down and go to sleep. But I will just, do some deep breathing, turn the lights out, sit on the edge of my bed or the edge of the couch, and do some meditation. Just clear my mind and just go inside and connect. And it's been really, really good for me, and it's been helping tremendously with the day-to-day and all the crazy stuff that's going on, just helping me recenter and recalibrate. So I hope this gives you guys some ideas and inspires you to go out and maybe do some work on yourselves, for yourselves. And if you got any questions about any of this, just let me know down below. I'll try and help. If you want, I've got a playlist. I think it's called Getting Stronger. Just go to my YouTube channel, and under playlists, you should find it right off. I've got a bunch of stuff with kettlebells and clubs and hammers, old-time strongman stuff. Hope you guys are all good, and I'm going to try and do an overnight here soon. So we'll catch you down the road. Cheers, everybody.